Hey, fourth grade, are you ready for your art lesson? So for the last few weeks, we've been looking at how to draw and make things look more 3D, more realistic. We've been looking at shading, which again, this is one of my favorite examples because it shows you where the light is coming from, where the artist drew the shadows, and how he made them darker to make it look more realistic. We looked at texture, and there's a lot of examples of texture on this little group right here, and you should have practiced some examples of texture. But we haven't been drawing any animals yet, and some people have been asking me when are we going to start animals. Well, we're going to start practicing an animal this week, but we're not going to be using your endangered species just yet. Everybody is going to be practicing an animal. It's not from Georgia, but it's from the general Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Wyoming, California, kind of this northwestern part of America. We're going to be practicing this animal. It's called the Columbia Basin Pygmy Rabbit. Yes, one of the reasons I picked it is because it's cute, but it's also going to be kind of easy to break down and look at and how to draw it before we get started on anything else. So I wanted to pick something that might be a little easy for us. So here's one picture you could try. We've got this one that you could also attempt. If you want to try drawing this one, you're fine. We've got this picture you can try drawing. And then we've got our last picture to look at. I'm going to walk through with you how I'm going to draw this picture. So let me pull up my... Alright, so I'm going to switch it so that the rabbit is sitting on the side and you can see my example. So we've talked about this, especially in third grade and other previous times, the sunflowers in second grade, and well, we touched on a little bit before the pandemic started. It's looking at shapes for things first. So I'm going to try and show you, I know it's kind of small, you might not be able to see it very well, but I'm going to say that our rabbit here is going to be first one big shape of a circle. Now, I want to fill up a lot of my page, but I don't want to go huge. If I made this circle this big, the top of the rabbit's head would go off the page. But I also don't want you to be drawing small. You want to fill up your page. So I'm going to start... So, I'm not drawing very dark. I'm not drawing really hard yet. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to draw lightly with my pencil because lightly drawn is easy to erase. When I like something, I'm going to go back over it and press down harder. But I'm also not done, so I'm not going to do anything yet. I'm going to make his head another circle. Now his head's not up here, his head's not all the way down there at the bottom. His head's kind of right about here, so I'm going to draw. And his head is small compared to the rest of his body. Now this is going to be another easier one for you. We've got two ovals that are going to be the ears. I can put in another small detail. I can draw the small eye. I can draw triangle for a nose. And then the last thing I need to do is get those feet. Now, I'm going to adjust some of my circle. Now my circle needs to come in a little bit, and I'm going to push this, make that a little bit smaller. And again, you'll erase anything that you don't need. And he's got, I'm going to do just a circle for a foot there. And he's got another circle and another circle. Now, this is not my done rabbit. This is not even close. But I am going to go through and erase some lines. Like, I know I won't see the back of his body through his head. So I erased that. I know I won't see his ears are overlapping, so I won't see that, and I won't see that part. So I'm erasing anything that overlaps. So let's look at some of the detail. And if you can't see the picture very well, remember, you can go back a few frames, you can go back a little bit and pause it on there, but I'll also put this up, I'll put up these pictures on your Google assignment so you can also look at it there. I'm going to start with the eyes. I usually start when I'm drawing animals with their eyes. Now his eyes aren't a perfect circle. In fact, he's got this little bump down there, and I can go through and I can color in just with that. And because he's got a little bit of light reflecting on it, I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to erase part of it. It's going to make it look like the eye. Now he's got this fuzzy part around his eye. So when I'm making this, it looks like I'm just doing lines, watch over here, they're longer in some spots and shorter in others. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to work on his nose. His nose is not a perfect straight. In fact, you really can't see this part of the nose. He's got the bottom part of the nose, and it's got a little bit of a line down here, and it's darker underneath because that's where the line starts. Now you can't very clearly see the outline of his chin. Now you can see a little bit of it, so I'm going to come back through and I'm going to put some fuzzy lines, because our rabbit is not made out of straight lines. He's made out of fuzzy lines. In fact, I'm going to do that on the other side. I'm going to make these fuzzy lines go back. And we don't see the other eye, so that's fine. He's got the inside of one ear, and here comes the other one. So I'm going to erase some of these lines back here that you don't see. And he's got these big fuzzy parts, so I'm going to do big lines, big fuzzy lines inside of his ear. And the other ear is kind of behind it. And so I'm going to erase some of those spots and up around there. Now the rest of his body. He's not a smooth line. They're very fluffy. So I'm making those short lines going around, making it a little bit more fluffy looking. And let's fix his feet down here, because his feet aren't circles. He's got a foot that comes down, and I'm going to erase those parts. And you can't see, his foot comes around from the back, so he's got a little bit and then we've got this leg back here, which kind of comes back, and so now I've got his fuzzy toes to work on. And I need to make the rest of him look fuzzy. So I'm going to start this time, because the fuzz needs to be coming down and going around. Now we've got all of this open area. This isn't, our rabbit should look more fuzzy than this. He looks fuzzy on the outside, but the inside of him is empty. That just doesn't look right. So let's make some more lines, some kind of fluffy looking lines. Got right in here, down there. We've got a little bit of color that comes along. You can see he gets darker. And you are welcome to color. In fact, I really don't like the way that came out, so I'm going to erase those. I would suggest that you try coloring it, but for this week, we're working on making our rabbit and making it look like it's really a rabbit. So you've got picture 1, you've got this picture, you can do the snow. I think I'm missing a picture there. There we go. So you're going to be picking one of those pictures and you are going to be practicing drawing the rabbit and making it look fluffy. All right? Thanks.